In this video, I'll tell you how much branding really costs and what is the right approach for you in your business. Asking how much branding costs is like asking how much a vacation costs. It depends on the experience that you're trying to have. First, we have the couch surfer, our most budget-friendly option. So this includes things like flying Spirit, putting all your clothes on at one time so you don't have to pay for baggage fees, staying on friends' couches, making PB&Js the whole trip. It's doing the bare minimum so that you can have an amazing experience. In terms of branding, this is DIY. This is asking for favors, getting free work from friends, or even using really low budget services like Fiverr or 99 Designs. The people who most often take this approach are brand new. They're just getting started and need to get their feet wet, but don't have a lot of resources, and that's okay. The pros of this approach are it's cheap and it may be enough to get you started. The cons are you get what you pay for. This approach rarely has the depth of strategy, skill, or expertise that you really need to grow and reach your goals. And oftentimes the designs or the messages that you get are pretty generic and based off of pre-made templates that could be repurposed for any number of brands. It's not the best way to stand out, but it will get you started. Next, we have ballin' on a budget, or high-low. When it comes to this vacation, you're upgraded to hotels, not hostels. You're dining out in the area, but maybe you're still choosing more budget-friendly locations, or you're still watching what you spend. So you have an eye on your budget, but you're able to live a little bit more and pay for an upgraded experience. In branding, this is more comparable to hiring designers and freelancers, or even working with really small creative teams. And this can range from a few $1,000s up to even maybe $20,000 for strategy, design, everything that you need, website, everything you need to get your brand up and running and off the ground. The pros of this approach are that it's very reasonable for what you get, especially for small businesses. You can get a lot of high quality work and dedicated attention and service, even with a pretty reasonable budget. And more service providers are going this route to help small businesses create amazing brands. The cons are that you may or may not get the level of expertise that you want, and the people you work with may have less experience, especially experience working with big brands. If that's important to you, this may not be the approach for you. Next, we have accessible luxury. So you're staying at finer hotels, maybe boutique hotels. You're having some of those once in a lifetime experiences like swimming with sharks or scuba diving or God knows what. You're making memories that last a lifetime and you're investing your money to do so. Maybe you're going to the spa at the hotel. You're putting your money where your mouth is in terms of your experience. When it comes to branding, this is comparable to working with a boutique agency. You may be spending tens of thousands of dollars up to $150,000, $200,000 for your entire brand system, from strategy, your entire visual language, and your website, even some of your identity materials. And this is more catered to the big end of small businesses, so definitely over 7 figures, to even mid-size and some large scale companies. The pros of this approach are that you often get really high touch service and support from the boutique agency. They have a dedicated small team who's working super hard for you because they don't take on a lot of clients at one time. And you can get amazing work. I came from a boutique agency background, and you get world-class work often for a lower cost than what a Fortune 500 brand might pay. The cons are, for a small business, sometimes it's just more money than you can spend, period. And for a big, super complex brand, they may be too small to service your needs. Finally, we have the jet setter, or money is no object. This is what we see in celebrity vacations. I'm talking yachts on Lake Como, designer outfit changes for every Instagram post, once in a lifetime experiences, 5-star resorts, the finest dining. I'm talking living it up. Now, peasants like me can't afford these experiences, so I can only imagine. But in terms of branding, this equates to the big agency experience. So this is for global, multinational, big brands with big budgets, as you can imagine. For these brands, branding can cost hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. Yeah, big budgets. This is what large agencies cater to. This is their bread and butter, and that's who they work with. The pros and cons of this approach. The pros are it's world-class work, period. You're investing so much money in this identity. You are working with some of the most talented people and building large-scale systems for your brand that can make an impact around the world. The cons are that big agencies often have very bloated budgets. You're paying for their overhead, they have huge teams, you're not getting this small dedicated support, and sometimes you're not getting personalized attention that you would get working with a smaller team. Plus, it's expensive, but this is well suited to really complex brands that have multiple languages, all different type of geographic factors, huge identity systems, maybe families of brands. Really big brands need a really big approach. When it comes to picking the approach for you, it's not just about what you can afford right now, it's also about what your customer expects. So for example, if you're building a luxury brand and you're trying to cater to people who value luxury goods, they're gonna expect at least an accessible luxury experience and certainly not the backpacker or couch surfer experience. That is not gonna help you connect with that audience. So if you're wondering where I fall, right now I'm right in that ballin' on a budget category, a little bit of high-low, because I choose to work with small businesses who don't have the same resources, but bring my high-end boutique agency expertise. So start to finish brand with me, strategy, design, web, might start at around $10,000 for all of those things and go up to 20 or 30 depending on all of the pieces that you need, the complexity of the brand, and all of the factors that go into building the brand of your dreams.